gonna say we could probably say that it's beginning to feel a lot like the holidays finally, right? Yeah, they say cold hands, warm heart. So I'm feeling the warmth from you all. You guys are keeping me nice and warm. Hello and welcome to the final event in the Holidays in Historic Frederick series, the Festival of Lights. I'm Jim Ratcheff and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies for tonight. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the individuals and groups who have joined together to make tonight's program so special. Before we begin, I'd like to I'm sorry, I just did that part. First, our mayor, Randy McClement. Down out front here, we've got the Frederick Children's Chorus. They'll be performing for us a little bit this evening and then leading us in some caroling. We've got students from St. John's Catholic Prep who are handing out candles and programs for us tonight. And we have Dr. Thomas Powell, and he'll be sharing an inspirational message for us in a little bit. In addition, I'd like to thank the following groups for making this, as well as all of our holiday events here in Frederick possible. The City of Frederick, the Holidays in Historic Frederick Committee of Celebrate Frederick, and the Festival of Lights chairs, Tracy Ratcheff and Kirsten Tidings. And I'd like to pause for a brief moment to say a special thank you to Kristen. Kristen has served Celebrate Frederick at every level, from the garden tour to the board of directors. We want to thank her for lending her time to our mission, and we will surely miss her energy and passion for our organization and Frederick community. She's departing for Australia, and we're all going to miss her very, very much. And as always, a very special thanks to our corporate sponsors for their generous support this year. Our Spire sponsors, Bechtel and Nemio. Our Carillon sponsors, Sandy Springs Banks and Wise Markets. Our Bandshell sponsors, Frederick Magazine, the Frederick News Post, Offutt Kerman, Attorneys at Law, Clement & Companies, Roy Rogers, and WHAG. And our holiday event sponsors, Geico Frederick, Maryland Sunrooms, Key 103, and 106.9 The Eagle. And finally, I'd like to welcome several guests from the Fort Detrick community who are joining us for tonight's program. I can't see from these lights, but I hear that somewhere Major General Brian Line is here. He's commander of the U.S. Army Medical Research and Material Command and Fort Detrick. And his wife Terry is with us, possibly somewhere out there. As well as Colonel Robert O'Brien, and he is the commander of the U.S. Army Garrison here at Fort Detrick. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our mayor, Randy McClement, who will give us a little background on how the festival came to be. Mayor?
Good evening, everyone. Like I say, anybody else? We can't see you, so you better speak up. There we go. Thank you all very much for coming out. This is a wonderful event. It's very different this year. We kind of lit up the building, and it's really, really cool. It is different for the fact that, as Jim said, we can't see anybody. We can see the choir, and that's as far as we can see. So you guys are going to have to make some noise out there so we know you're out there. There you go. I just want to add one quick thing. Again, Jim already did this, but I would like to say a big thank you, and I'd like to give a big round of applause for Tracy and Kristen for putting this event on. Now, some of you might wonder how this Festival of Lights came to be in Frederick. This community gathering here in the courtyard of City Hall began over 30 years ago by Julia Hanna, who was concerned that the world was losing sight of the real meaning of Christmas. She encouraged area residents to display single white candles in their windows to bring back the feeling of an old-fashioned Christmas and focus on the warmth and fellowship of the season. She encouraged the community's togetherness, and the Candlelight Festival had begun. Since that time, the tradition has elevated into this ecumenical gathering. When it began, there was probably only about 20 people here. Now we have a lot of you here, and we appreciate it. Over the years, this number has grown, and we appreciate you being here. We hope you have a great event, and thank you for being members of the City of Frederick.
It's now my honor to introduce Dr. Thomas Powell, our inspirational speaker for this evening. Dr. Powell served as the president of Mount St. Mary's College from 2003 to 2014 and is currently the president of St. John's Catholic Prep. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Powell.
Thank you very much. We all know the story. And while the Christmas story is one of hope and promise with the birth of Jesus, the story is also one that should trouble us just a little bit. How could the people of Bethlehem not make room for Mary and Joseph? Well, you know the story. Mary was young, and because she was pregnant and traveling, she was probably a little frightened. She knows she was traveling with her new husband, Joseph. They had to walk from Nazareth to Bethlehem so that they could be registered and pay their taxes. It's a long and hard journey for anyone, but if you are about to give birth, it's especially difficult. If you look at the map, from Nazareth to Bethlehem is 90 miles. It must have taken them at least 6 days walking. No doubt they camped out at night as they made the journey, and so when they get to Bethlehem, the town is absolutely packed. The place is crowded with all the travelers. Mary starts to experience the first stages of childbirth, and she knows that the time is now for this baby to come. Unlike a lot of girls who are giving birth, her mother was not with her. She only had Joseph, and my guess is he probably had no idea what to do. They desperately need to find a warm, safe place to bring Jesus into the world, and so they go in search of some place, and the first innkeeper says, "I'm sorry, look around, we're full, go someplace else." The next innkeeper, "We're full." And Joseph begins to beg for his wife. No luck. No one was willing just to give up a little bit for this young girl who was about to have a baby. Why should they give up their comfort? Mary wasn't their daughter. Let them find someplace else. And then they go, they go to one inn. Mary was, no doubt she was in pain. My guess is she might have been crying. She was a young girl. We know she was frightened. And so one innkeeper takes pity and sends them to the barn. Joseph makes the barn ready as best he could, but remember, there were no electric lights, no running water, no warmth. And as every mother knows, giving birth is rather difficult. It's painful. And Joseph, like every new father, was probably very frightened himself. And probably after a few hours of pain, Jesus comes into the world, and we're forever changed, all of us. Our world was changed because of one baby. Now, have you been to a barn recently? Dark, stinky, typically very dirty, not a great place to sleep, much less to give birth. And I'm sure there were no talking animals, no light music, and there certainly wasn't any little drummer boy standing around that night. That night, the Holy Family was the homeless family. So when I think about the Christmas story, of course I focus on Jesus. I focus on Mary and Joseph and their plight, but I also think about those innkeepers. How could they turn their back on a young girl who's about to give birth? How could they not want to ease her pain and rescue her a little bit? How could they not sacrifice a small bit of their comfort to help a pregnant girl? Sometimes I think about what I would have done if I were the innkeeper back in Bethlehem. And I wish I could tell you that I would be different. But probably not. Probably not. I would not have had the grace that Jesus brought into the world. I would not have had the lessons that Jesus came to teach us. I probably would have been just like everyone else. For me, the Christmas story, the lesson of Christmas, is to call us to be a different type of innkeeper in today's world. When we see people in need, people who are frightened, people in pain, people without their mothers. And I ask myself, do I make room for them in my life? Do I sacrifice just a little bit of my own comfort to help them ease their suffering and to come to their rescue? Today our world is full of travelers. In fact, some of them are pregnant. Many of them are lonely, and too many without their mothers. As we celebrate this great birthday in our great city of Frederick, the mission for us today is to be kind. To be the innkeeper who says, wait a second, come in, I will be the one that helps you. So it all starts with you and me. What type of innkeeper will we be? Because Jesus was with us. And who am I to be blind, pretending not to see those who need us around us? To me, the Christmas story is really the Christmas lesson. In Frederick, we have a great tradition, thanks to all the great leaders in our community and all the great people, that we do open up our doors to people in need. So let us commit ourselves today to continue that great practice in our community, to open our doors and our hearts to those who need us. Have a blessed Christmas.
Thank you, Dr. Powell. Now please join me in welcoming the Frederick Children's Chorus, led by Judy Du Bois, who will be performing The Carol of the Bells and Sevivin.
Cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound. Oh, hear the ring, telling their tale. Hear the ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding, ding, merry, merry, ding, dong. Ding, ding, merry, merry, ding, dong. All songs and dong, their trouble to every home. Hark, how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, croak and away. Christmas is here, bringing the cheer. Ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong, ding, dong, that is our song. We will ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound. Oh, ding, ding, hearing the ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding, 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 dong, ding, 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 dong. On one is sent, all out and there to every home. God is sent on without end, their joy to every home. Ding
for those wonderful performances. Well, I tell you, they dimmed the lights a little bit, and I got to look at you out there. You are a great-looking crowd out there tonight. We've got a ton of you out there. But we now want to see, we want to hear how you sound, not just how you look. So I'd like to invite everyone to join the chorus as we sing some classic holiday carols together. And the lyrics are all in your program.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
think you got some future members of the children's chorus up
Those
front
my
here.
grandchildren.
Yeah. Ah.
Forward to the part.
Well, at this time, I'd like to invite Mayor Clement to light tonight's first candle. And then please share your flame with those around you. And once your candle is lit, join us all in singing Silent Night.
These kids. Nice. Keep going. Oh, good job. Now, mine was taken.
Would you like? Yeah. on behalf of Celebrate Frederick, thank you all for attending this year's Festival of the Lights. Please join me one last time in thanking the Frederick Children's Chorus, our speaker, Dr. Thomas Powell, and the Festival of Lights Committee co-chairs Tracy Ratchoff and Kristen Tidings, and all of our wonderful event volunteers who are here selling ornaments in the Celebrate Frederick tent in the back. Let's give everybody a round of applause. I want to wish everybody a happy holidays and thank you for letting me do this. I tell you right now, looking out at you there with your candles, I got the very best seat in the house. So I hope you all stay warm and everyone has great holidays and a happy new year. Thank you very much.
Oh, you have the box.
You stand right in front of you.